Hey, good Tuesday morning, everybody. Me and Marley are going to show you our Christmas tree. You want to show them the Christmas tree, Marley? You want to show them the Christmas tree? Yeah? Okay, we're going to show them the Christmas tree. You know, the Christmas tree has a long history. It goes way back to before the well-known history of it coming from Germany. But it went back all the way to Egypt. Went all the way back to a time where the people that enslaved Israel for over 400 years, the Egyptians, the Pharaoh that wouldn't let them go, they worshipped evergreen trees such as the Christmas trees that we bring into our homes at Christmas season, because they never died. They were everlasting. They were evergreen. But then, you know, the Germans are credited for the history of the Christmas tree, the bringing of that tradition. It's told in many circles that Martin Luther started the tradition of the Christmas tree. He was walking home from church one night and he saw the stars glistening through the evergreen trees. And he came home and he said, I want to recreate that picture that God showed me tonight with the stars glistening through the evergreens. And he put wired up candles around the tree, and it showed the lights on the tree. And that was thought to be the first Christmas tree. You know, in America, the Christmas tree tradition didn't take off very well because the early settlers in America that were pilgrims, were Puritans, and they didn't want to do those secular traditions. They didn't want to do anything that was not sacred. And so the Christmas tree really didn't take on as a tradition here until about the 1830s and in that time frame because of those widely held, strongly held religious beliefs. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree is an outside tree. It grows outside, and we tend to think there's an order to things, that we keep things outside that should be outside, and we bring the things that are inside, we kind of keep inside. Now, we do blur the lines a little bit, but the Christmas tree really blurs the line because we go out and cut down a tree on the outside and we bring it to the inside of our home, and so it kind of blurs those lines between outdoors and indoors. Well, I want to remind you about a story of the wise men. And Pastor Mark yesterday talked about sometimes the things that we see, the things that we look at are not really what they seem to be. You know, when he ate that cookie and it was a Christmas tree ornament, I thought that was a great story. But sometimes things aren't quite what they seem to be. And sometimes we have to look at them differently to see the full story. Look at the story of the wise men. The wise men came. We know that they brought great gifts to Jesus. But look at where they came from. You know, I mentioned Egypt. Well, the wise men came from the east, not south of Israel, where Egypt was. They came from the east, which was basically from Assyria, from Babylon. They came from a country that had taken Israel into captivity. And if Mary and Joseph would have really thought about that, they may have had a problem with those kings from the east coming. But the story of Christmas is all about forgiveness. So see, forgiveness was even for those in Babylon, even those ones that had hurt us, the ones that had given us into slavery, had taken us into exile, that had done harm to us. Who is it in your life that needs forgiveness? That's the story of Christmas. It's a story of mercy, that we don't get what we deserve. They got hospitality from Mary and Joseph. They were brought into the home. They got to bow and worship Jesus Christ. And it's a story about humility, that these wise men, these learned men would bow on their faces before Jesus Christ and would humble themselves. See, these are the stories of Christmas that we don't often tie back to the wise men, but it's the real story of Christmas. Just as our Christmas tree should remind us of life everlasting. God so loved us that he forgave us through his son Jesus. If we'll only accept him, we will have evergreen life, life everlasting. I hope the Christmas tree will be a great reminder of the gospel this Christmas season, and that you'll have a wonderful season. Have a great week.